Legends finale here from I believe we're doing the losers bracket. Is that right, Tin?
Yeah, I believe we're doing the LSUS versus Among Us there in the loser bracket, and then we'll move on. Probably the Newmont Esports and Shreveport's finals. We'll probably move on to the winner of that one. We might hit it mid game. We'll just see what it looks like.
Okay, so early call here. You watched a couple of them play yesterday between LSUS and Among Us. Early call before we even get into the picks.
I'm going to go with the home team, LSUS.
You're going with the home team. I wonder if it has anything to do with the shirt you're wearing, but maybe not. Okay, so let's go ahead and take it. Let's see if we can get into those. Yep, let's hop into those picks and bans.
Hey, you're lost.
All right. All right, so we got LSUS on the left, and what was the team?
Among Us.
Among Us, there we go. On the right side there, and it looks like Among Us has banned out the Hecarim and the Malzahar. They saw that played yesterday, and they did not like that Malzahar. Also getting rid of the Brand.
Smart move.
The LSUS bot lane with Brand kind of dominated one of the games yesterday.
Brand has great clear.
Yeah. Well.
And poke.
Yeah, well, the team fight aspect is the big thing for it. LSUS getting rid of Vi, Ezreal, and Jhin, so getting rid of a jungler and two of the ADCs from Among Us, and getting their first pick in with Misfortune, so very powerful team fight ADC with her ultimate. We're waiting here for the pick for Not Lunk for Among Us over here.
Man, going for that.
Waiting for it. So they're bringing in the Ashe. I'm a personal Ashe fan here. With the new lethal tempo, she can go Hail Blades or lethal tempo. I'm a lethal tempo fan. Once it's fully stacked, she gets the additional attack range, and all of her attacks slow. And with the additional attack range, it's tough to fight. And we got Echo coming in here, so we got the jungle for LSUS picked, and probably the jungle for Among Us picked.
Did Among Us pick Warwick yesterday?
They did pull out Warwick yesterday, and he was very good on it.
Yeah.
So I would be a little scared of it. So LSUS not getting the Brand, pulling out the Zyra, another kind of pokey damage support from LSUS, trying to continue that theme in the bot lane there. But yeah, the Warwick played it very well yesterday, jumping in correctly. I only saw him miss one ultimate. And bringing in the Senna. So Senna's going to be
multi-versatile champ there.
Yeah, so she can play support or bottom as the ADC. Probably going to be more support this go around, if I had to guess. But this gives me very heavy AD picks so far from Among Us. So I'd expect the last two picks to be AP Magic Damning picks.
And we'll see how
LSUS
answers their picks.
Yeah. So they're getting rid of the Cho'Gath. So
Cho'Gath. Okay.
I know the jungler and the mid laner play Cho'Gath a lot, so it's a good multi-role ban right there. Let's see what LSUS responds with. Getting rid of the Vex. So Vex is one of the new champions. She's an anti-dash champion, but she's also a blow-em-up mage, able to jump in and get massive fears off on the entire team if done correctly. We saw that in one of the fights, I believe,
we did.
Versus Doghouse Gaming.
Yeah, we did. That's right.
I believe, and I called it. I was like, she's going to jump in, hit her W, and send the entire team in all directions.
And a minute seconds of chaos gives the other team the advantage.
Yeah, well, once you split a team up like that, they all have to make independent decisions, and it's usually not the same decision, causing kind of split focus. So LSUS banned Victor following the Vex. So Victor's a hyperscaling mage these days. A good ban, but looks like Among Us got rid of the Ziggs. So the mid laner for LSUS does play Ziggs a lot, so it's a good ban there. And they responded with the Vladimir pick. So Vladimir also a hyperscaling mage champion for the mid lane there. And looks like LSUS was thinking on the set and then locked it in. So
and Vladimir's one of the few champs that can escape the Vigar.
That's right. He can go into his pool and go underneath the cage and get out of it.
That's a good pick.
It's a good pick.
Very good pick for mid lane.
Yep. And we'll see what the last pick coming in for Among Us.
Of course, I can't fault them for picking my favorite bruiser in the top lane, my boy Set.
That's right. Ooh, and so an equally as tanky top laner here with Dr. Mundo.
Yeah, it's both health intensive champs. That's good.
Yep.
This ought to be a great game.
Yeah. The only thing, so Dr. Mundo is going to have a lot of health, so the Set will be able to ultimate him, and the ultimate does damage based off the health of the person. So a high health Mundo will be a nuclear bomb that explodes in the backline of Among Us if done correctly.
And this may come down to proper item selection.
Yeah, I mean, it always does. So yeah, you got your magic damage with your Mundo and your Vladimir there. So I'm not sure if this order that they have is correct, but it's showing Ashe mid lane, but I doubt that's the case.
Nah, they probably did that just so they could get their champs in early before someone else picked them.
Yeah, they swapped though.
Yeah.
So like they did swap. Interesting. Maybe they just weren't in normal pick order.
So while we got a few minutes before the game starts, 10, let us know, based on the team comp, how do you feel LSUS did on their picks?
So LSUS right now, they have a very assassin jungler who's pretty good at the game, and if he can pop off on Echo and start getting kills and get himself fed, I think that will carry them through the early and mid game. The Vigar, again, if you can get a good stun wall down for the Zyra ult, for the Misfortune ult, they can kind of take over team fights there. So Among Us, they got a really tanky team with the Dr. Mundo and Warwick there, and the Vladimir, he gets very tanky near the end of the game. It's hard to say right now. I think I prefer the LSUS team, just because they got that team fight potential there.
So Mundo and Warwick, that combo could easily tower dive.
Oh, yeah, very, very much so.
Mundo tanks, Warwick comes in for the quick burst kill.
Yeah, and Warwick can lock him down with the ult, allowing easy damage to go on him. Honestly, so for Among Us there, they would be looking with their Dr. Mundo or their Warwick, or both, just kind of protecting their Senna and Ashe, peeling for them so they can dish out the damage. The Vladimir can just go in, nuke everyone, and then pull away, so he shouldn't need much help. You'll be looking for Dr. Mundo and Warwick protecting the Ashe and Senna so they can just extend those fights out long duration.
Now, with the team comp that LSUS has chosen, all of these players are well-skilled veterans at this point, right?
Yeah.
So this really going to come down to, and I'm going to guess that Among Us has got another laundry list of well-skilled players on their team.
I'm sure of it.
So it's really going to come down to who doesn't make a mistake and who gets the right objective at the right time.
Yeah, there's gonna be a critical point where either team has to make a tough decision, and if they make the right decision, it could lead to good things for them.
I mean, we see it time and time again where a team will make one mistake that the gold lead was even, the kill lead was even. They make that one mistake, and the tide of the game turns.
Yep.
And it all goes downhill.
Yeah, as the game gets further along, the consequences of your actions become more severe.
And you pay for it.
Yep.
In blood.
Yep. Early game, you pay for it with a little time out of lane. Late game, you pay for it with losing the game.
Right. Well, I wish both teams good luck in today's match.
We'll be moving into it here in just a few seconds.
Still surprised I didn't see any Teemo picks there.
No Teemos today.
Oh, what a bummer.
I'm curious if any of them tried to invade today.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah. You see it at the pro level. I mean, they do.
On occasion.
You do see it happen.
It's risky, but I'm always a fan of, if you can get the first punch in, it's usually hard to fight after you've been punched.
Sometimes there's no reward without risk.
This is true. So we should be moving into the game here after the load.
I'm curious to see if the team is going to go for Shelly at their first shot of availability.
I'm a huge fan of trying to get double Rift Heralds in the game. So to do that, you have to get that first Rift Herald pretty early on. So like I said, I'm a fan of it.
Fantastic.
So we got Vladimir with Predator. So Predator buffs the boots to give it an active ability to where it gives him a burst of move speed. So I'd be looking for this Vladimir, kind of shoving in a wave and then roaming about halfway to another lane if it's open, and then predatoring the rest of the way and getting on top of either the bot or top lane and making an impact.
A quick fun note question: the corporate Mundo skin, is that the one where he's carrying the cell phone in the briefcase?
Yeah, that is correct.
That thing cracks me up.
That's one of my favorite Mundo skins.
The animators for that did a great job. He's like on his cell phone. Papers are falling out of his briefcase.
One of the emotes, it shows like the going into the red, right? And he fixes it just by turning the graph upside down.
Yeah,
That's how you fix it. You just turn it upside down.
that's great. That's fantastic.
All right, we're getting into the game here.
All right, let's see. So, what do you early call? Who do you think starting red? Who do you think starting blue?
I'm gonna say probably a bot lane start, or a red start for the bottom side, and probably a blue start for Warwick.
All right.
If
So,
I had to guess.
all right, they're lining up. Looks
Yeah,
like
so
they are guarding the entrances. I don't think either team is going to go for an invade.
Yeah, they looks like they're just playing it safe and keeping everything guarded. LSUS got some early wards out there into the river, trying to spot them out there. Yeah, it looks like both teams are just playing it safe. No one except the Mundo on the top side. LSUS was probably expecting an invade. Look at there. Again, with that comp, with the Ashe, her auto attack slow and a Mundo Q slow, and then you can really catch people out with that team. And so LSUS was anticipating an invade in the bot side there and stacked this bush up. Warded it up to see them coming in, but nothing's happening, so we're going to have to wait about 15, 30 more seconds for something to happen.
So, are you a big fan of the generous leash for the
No,
bot lane?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
So as a support player myself, if I don't have to leash, I would prefer not to leash.
Wow. Okay.
That's nothing against the jungler. The jungler should be able to solo clear just fine without my help. I don't mind helping, but I wouldn't have gone back for that auto attack right
Okay.
there.
Okay.
Getting into lane and getting that presence in the lane, I think, is more important than getting that additional damage for the jungler.
I mean, you could miss 1 or 2 minions, right? For that extra leash.
You definitely don't want to do that.
Yeah. So we got an early trade here. Looks like the bot lane is holding their own on both sides of the.
Yeah, and so this is what I'm talking about. The Zyra is having to sit in the back bush now because they did not get a presence in the lane quick enough. So the other team, Among Us, able to get control of that middle bush, making it more difficult for the Zyra to get the poke in here. They're trying to get there. They did get level 2 first. Not much coming of it. I saw a root coming up from the Zyra, but didn't hit anyone, unfortunately, for the LSUS team.
So let's look at the top lane for a second here. Let me know the strat for who do you think is going to be the more cautious player versus the more aggressive player between Set and Mundo?
So it's really going to depend from second to second. The big difference right now, this early on, is how many minions you have in the lane, and that will determine how aggressive you should be playing.
Well, speaking of aggressive, it looks like that the LSUS bot lane has pushed up the Among Us into their tower.
The Zyra has a lot of pressure, and so with that pressure, with her plants and abilities, she's able should be able to kind of control the lane and push people back. So like right here, you see all the red caster minions. Red side should be on offense here, wanting to take a fight. And Zed missing the ult.
Oh, that looks like a good trade. Oh, can he finish it? No, he cannot.
He cannot. So he got in there.
It was a good trade.
No, he didn't miss it. The Mundo passive ate the stun.
That was a good trade on Set's part. Oh, yeah. Set's going to try to finish it here. Yeah. Can he finish? No. He can. Oh, but Warwick comes in.
That's the echo.
Oh, nope.
Warwick is
There's Warwick.
Counter jump.
Yeah. I was watching the minimap. It's 10.
But yeah, so it's largely dependent on your minion state.
Oh, first blood goes to Among Us.
Whether or not you can be aggressive or not. Yeah, the Warwick coming in with the counter gank, following it up as the Set had to leave back towards the tower and the Echo left towards the river. The Mundo and Warwick are able to take advantage of that temporary 2v1 and get the first kill.
Always a great advantage when you have 2v1.
Yep.
So how important is How much importance do you put on the scuttle crabs?
So before preseason, scuttles were very important because junglers could 3 camp plus scuttle and get level 4. In preseason, however, they have nerfed the first scuttle by 80%, I believe, XP.
Wow,
So it doesn't get you even close to getting level 4 these days.
that is a lot.
So the first scuttle's importance has dropped dramatically. It's nice getting it. Don't get me wrong. If you can get it. But I wouldn't try to die for it these days.
So let's talk about, speaking of scuttle, let's talk about vision. What should we be looking at from both teams here, vision-wise?
Yeah. So generally, you want vision control words in areas just like the name suggests, in areas you control, because you want to be able to defend that control word. You want to tempt people out of position trying to kill it. So you generally toss those next to you or a little behind you. So for example, the LSUS team would put a control ward in their tri-bush, while the Among Us team would probably drop it only if they're pushed way up in lane, back in the river behind them. You want to be able to fall back and defend a control ward. They're 75 gold each. They're valuable. If you can defend them. Stealth ward should be placed a little more aggressively, trying to spot people coming into your lane, or trying to catch people out rotating between lanes.
And I believe one of your favorite phrases is, your stealth ward inventory should be 0, right?
Well, it should definitely not be sitting. You get 2 charges, and if it's sitting at 2 charges, it's not recharging the
Right.
second charge, and so it's just wasted potential. You'll never get that ward back. So the teams that do maximize their ward efficiency generally do better than the teams that don't.
Wow, I'm just watching these trades here between Mundo and Set, and they're just
Yeah,
neither
it's-
can
it's-
really get the advantage over the other.
It's 2 beefy guys going at it. That's the heavyweights up there in the top lane.
It looks like LSUS is still maintaining dominant control of the bot lane.
Yeah, I would expect it. With the Zyra, she's able to. She has a big pressure bubble around her and is able to force people back easily, because if she lands her root, I mean, she can follow it up with a bunch of plants.
Looks like LSUS is going for the dragon. They've got their mid laners rotated down for assistance, and I don't think that the enemy,
it's
Among Us jungler, is going to come in and challenge that.
Yeah, it's an uncontested Drake. It looked like Among Us was not in position, so they just, again, if it's a loss, you take the small losses and try not to give over big losses. So they chose just to take the small loss there.
And I believe I see Shelly is just about to be on the map.
Yep, she spawns at 8 minutes, and with Dragon taken, that's an easy objective to force a fight over right now for LSUS, or Among Us, since you're not going to lose anything on the other side of the map now.
Looks like Warwick is going to try to come in and make a play against Set in the top lane. He's getting in position. Set moving back.
Yep,
I don't
Seth
think
saw it with the ward, I think.
well placed ward.
Yeah, I think there's one in the bush there.
Smart play. That might have saved Set's life.
Yep.
And dying in the early game, not so bad, but can give the other team a CS advantage, correct?
Yeah, I mean, what's bad about dying is not the actual death, but losing all the XP and gold potential. See, and there's the root from the Zyra coming in.
There we go. Are they going to be able to get the kill?
Looks like they were trying to. If Zyra was level 6, I think that was a kill. But she could have ulted, knocked her up, and the Misfortune would have caught up.
Uh-oh.
Also, I just noticed the Misfortune went with Cleanse, which is an interesting choice. I like it.
Vigar's in trouble here. Can Vigar get out of the way?
The Echo's going to escort him out here.
That'll be good. Oh, Vlad's going for the kill. Can Vlad get it? Can Vlad get it? No. Warwick might try to dive under tower.
The Echo was thinking about going back in there with the double stun. As I was saying earlier, the Misfortune went. There's the Set ult to bring the Mundo back, but Mundo responded with his own ult.
Uh-oh. They're both at a low health state at this point. It could go either way.
Yeah, that fight turned about 5 times in 5 seconds. The Set W doing.
We got
the Zyra getting the kill. Looks like
all right. And a return 1-for-1. Wow.
The Zyra ult coming in. I told you the Zyra ult would make a difference.
You
there.
did. Mundo flash
Mundo flashed
behind
the
the Set W, And it looks like Set is gonna, if he's smart, Set's gonna have to reset here.
So the Set living there, that's good because now the Mundo doesn't have flash, and it will be open to ganks or open to more Set aggressiveness here, early on for the next 5 minutes.
You know, I wish they would put the number of stacks that the Vigar has in the info map.
So if you select the champion, you can see the passive, which shows the stacks. Hint, hint. We can't see it because we have some branding over it, but that's okay. Yeah, Misfortune has cleanse. That's almost entirely to cleanse the Warwick ult and the Ashe ult. I think it's a good pick for late game because she wants to be in position to get her ult off, and those two things will deny that.
So it seemed like the Mundo decided to reset since the Set had to back anyway, because you don't want the Set to have an item advantage over you in the lane, right?
Yeah, I mean, the only difference between these two right now will be items, and if someone goes back gets an item and you haven't, it's going to put you at a disadvantage. It looked like the top lane was pretty neutral as well, so it was a good time to go back.
Is that Echo's trying to get the scuttle? It looks like. I don't think Echo's coming in for a gank.
Nah, he's
not without the Set there anyway.
Yeah, he's just getting the scuttle.
But Mundo coming down.
Yeah,
to ward the bush. They're gonna collapse on Mundo.
Yeah,
Can
so
they pull off the gank? Mundo's got a lot of health, but can he tank?
Yeah, so Mundo just ultimate there. There's no heal cut there, no grievous wound, so he's just gonna be able to walk it out. But again, no flash and no ult on the Mundo now.
And so Vladimir coming in from the back line, sneaking in there.
Yeah,
maybe so try to take out the Echo.
He's gonna Predator. There we go.
There we go. Predator in. Looks like and Warwick too. Watch out, Set, and is this over for Set? I believe they're going to get that kill.
Set's going to have to give his life to save this.
Mundo. Mundo's going after the Echo. Can Echo make it to safety? Oh, brilliant. Fantastic. Yeah. Good move by Echo.
So this LSUS bot lane are going to be the carries for this game, I think, with the Vigar stun and the Zyra ult. Well, the Echo might have bit off more than he chewed. I thought he got out of here.
That would have been smart. Because the Warwick was going for Echo's blue.
Oh, there's a Warwick ult missed, so that's Warwick ult down.
Vigar
can Vigar make it? Happy feet.
Oh, there we go.
Dodging.
Oh, there we go.
That was some good little wiggling there from the Vigar, dodging all
Vigar was about to bite it there. And Warwick's going to go ahead and clear.
He wiggled too hard for them.
Warwick's going to go ahead and clear Echo's jungle for him.
Yeah,
as a courtesy punishment.
LSUS has no presence in their top jungle here now, so it's a free farm for Among Us just to take.
And more farm gives you the more gold, and more gold means more items.
It's detrimental for a jungler because that's farm you missed plus farm they got, so it's a 2 net gain for a 2 camp net game for Among Us there.
Being a recent jungler myself, switching from a top laner to the jungle, I've noticed how slowly the jungle level increments compared to being in a lane.
So jungler will traditionally be a level behind one of the solo lanes.
Right.
Generally.
So getting that extra farm,
it's
because all the farm's timed, right?
Yeah.
And so you get that extra farm, that can easily put you up to equal to a laner, right?
Yeah, so LSUS responding here, moving into Among Us, trying to get that farm back here.
Works coming in, but
it's a little dangerous, but the LSUS bot lane is pretty powerful, so you play where your power is.
And it looks like Warwick's going to have to back out.
Send a root here, and Misfortune
MF ult, yep.
Disengaging the Among Us there.
Set is not having an easy time. I think he's about to bite it. Set with the ult, good ult, but that didn't save his life.
Yeah.
Set yet again down for the count.
Yeah, I don't see what level Set is, but if I had to guess, he's probably like level 9 right now. So the Mundo kind of flexing his level and item advantage here. He's got double the CS, 64 to 112.
Oh wow!
So kind of on the struggle bus here in the top lane.
Well, early game though, not looking too bad for either team. Right now, the kill count is only up by 1 in the favor of LSUS, and they have a minor gold lead, which early in the game I don't think is going to be that much of a tip the scales, right?
It's very minor right now. Again, LSUS needs the Set doesn't need to play be extremely ahead. It's nice, don't get me wrong. A fed Set is nasty. I think we saw that yesterday too.
We did.
A a like 10-0 set or something.
Yeah.
But all he has to do right now is take up space for his mid lane and his bot lane. And Set's really good at taking up space.
So during the laning phase, just his objective should be keep the tower from falling and don't feed the Mundo.
Yeah, pretty much. And 0-3, it's not really working out, but as we move away from the laning phase here. And,
Late gank attempt by,
yeah, the Warwick.
and that's going to cost the Warwick.
Oh my gosh, the Warwick.
Oh, wow. He was way overextended. That was not a good idea. That was basically a 3v1 right then.
Yeah, he ulted in and missed, and so he flew right past his target and right into danger.
Yeah, I don't care how many milk bones Warwick had before he woke up this morning, before he showed up for work, but that's not going to work out for him.
It's not going to work out. And LSUS is going to get a turret here, and Among Us needs to be back on.
And I believe that was the first turret.
I think it was.
Yeah, so they're going to get that first turret gold.
Among Us shouldn't have been there. That turret was like 2 hits away with the entirety of the LSUS bot lane plus jungler there. It's just, again, you want to take the small losses.
Wow, and I believe that we just saw the Ashe just got down.
Yeah, the Ashe got deleted by the Misfortune ult. So Misfortune is also going Kraken Slayer today. Yesterday we saw Lethality. Kraken Slayer really good against the tankiness of Among Us here.
So they're gonna get they almost had 2 towers in under 15 minutes of the game.
Yeah,
that's pretty impressive.
So yeah, as I was saying, you want to take the small losses if you can. Sticking around that tower turns it from a small loss into a big loss, because now you're down for the next 20-30 seconds, allowing LSUS to push even further in with the number advantage of getting the second tower.
And now, as you can see, LSUS with the 4 kill lead and a 4,000 gold lead early game, and 2 dragons, none for the Among Us.
Yep.
So that next objective, whether it be Shelly or the dragon, are going to be pivotal for Among Us to survive moving forward in this game, as long as LSUS doesn't make any rookie mistakes.
Yeah. LSUS at this point, with their bot lane way ahead, should be trying to look for fights. Either going to Shelly and getting that, you either get it for free or you force a fight. The Mundo will be the big problem here. He's going to be a big boy. He's got his Mythic in here with the Frostfire Gauntlet. That's going to give him additional tank stats. And again, he's going to be the one taking up space for the Among Us team here. The question is, does Among Us team have anyone that can do damage while the Mundo is taking up space? I'm not sure right now.
Oh, look
Vlad
at that.
and Ashe haven't really panned out for them.
So they got a team. The whole LSUS team looks like they're going in for Shelly.
Just what I said. Were you bringing the team in here?
Can Among Us rally and deny the Shelly attempt? But it looks like no.
They should just give it up properly. With the entire LSUS team, like I said, coming in there, you want to force them to make a bad call and try to contest for it. They wisely didn't contest for it. Again, the small loss rather than the big loss. So the action's moving here towards the mid lane. I'm curious where this Echo is going to drop the Rift Child. So there's 2 towers still top. So it could be used up there to kind of equalize that lane to the others. Or it could be used on the exposed bot lane tower or inhibitor turret there.
Now, just for our viewers at home who may not be entirely familiar with the game of League of Legends, remind them what the laning phase is and when that usually ends.
Yeah, so the general rule of thumb is that laning phase starts at 0 minutes to about 15 minutes into the game. There's a caveat there. Once towers objectives start falling like that and teams start moving around together, as 4, as 5, you're moving out of the laning phase, which is just it's a 1v1 in the top, 1v1 in the mid, 2v2 in the bottom, and 1v1 in the jungle. You move out of those little skirmish games into 5v5 fights, and then that pushes you out into the mid lane, into the mid game.
So what should Among Us be doing right now, seeming that they are they're closing the gap on the goal lead just by a little bit.
Just by a little bit.
But what should be they looking to do right now to even things up?
I don't think they win a team fight right now, so they should be trying to get good vision to catch people wandering around from the LSUS team, moving between lanes.
And Vigar's collapsing and just took care of the Ashe. Can they get the Mundo? And they just got a shutdown on that Mundo.
They just deleted the strongest player.
Oh, and it looks like a 3v1. Can he get out of there? No, he can't. Their jungler's down. Are they going to get the 5th kill and it looks like no
So the real
Senna
answer,
got out.
what they should do is not that. That's the real answer. Like, there's no way you win an even or slightly, like one person ahead fight for Among Us right now. So you don't want to be taking those fights. You want to be looking for like the 3v1s or the 4v1s.
That was
And-
almost a team wipe if Senna hadn't gotten out of there when it was optimal.
Yeah.
And now the LSUS has 3 dragons and 1 Shelly over Among Us.
Yeah, and you want to try to avoid those fights and try to get picks where you can, and then turn those picks into gold. If you look right now, we got bounties on everyone on the LSUS team except the set. You want to try to start picking off those bounties and getting gold onto your carries.
Smart play dropping Shelly in the mid lane because they've got a hard push going on right now. Are they going to get that turret?
Deleted the Senna there.
Oh, and looks like they got the turn. Are they going to be able to go for inhib? Is that a smart play?
LSUS looks like it's going for the win early on right here.
Wow. Can they get the win in under 25 minutes? I think they can, with the Mundo only one between them and
Mundo
the turret.
killing the Echo there, which is a lot of the damage, but I don't think it's going to matter.
Wow.
I think LSUS's bot lane has just completely taken over this game.
With 3 down on the Among Us side, it looks like they...
And the Vigar ultimate is seemingly at deleting people with, with one click. So
that's amazing.
He can just, remove one of the...
Now, if I had to guess, are they headed towards one of the most famous objectives in the game? Would it be smart for LSUS?
Not with their jungle down, I don't think.
Okay. No smite.
No smite. That's an easy steal for work if they try it. However, once LSUS all goes back buys, because they just got a ton of gold, but none of that gold is turned into items until they go back and buy.
Well, with an inhib down, we know what that means, right, Tin?
What does that mean?
That means that we've got some super minions coming down to the Among Us base, which someone's going to have to contend with.
Yeah, someone from Among Us is going to have to control that mid lane now, which is going to make it essentially a 5v4 for the rest of the map. So LSUS can easily turn that 5v4 into an advantage.
Looks like LSUS is converging in the direction of Baron just to make sure that the Among Us group aren't trying to garner that objective.
Looks like the Zyra support is actually being support and getting wards down, trying to cover that Baron.
Speaking of wards, so right now they should have a line of vision, and they should be pushing their line of vision into the Among Us jungle, correct?
Yeah, if we look at it right now, we got 3 wards in the Among Us top jungle, and I see a control ward in the bottom jungle. So LSUS knows pretty much where everyone is right now. So that's going to be Vladimir coming in with the Predator with the team fight breaking
out. And Vladimir's down. Can
the Vigar is at a point where he can ult and just eliminate
that is
one of the
spectacular.
And the Vladimir came in, got stunned, and got deleted from the
Ash
game.
coming back in here on the field. I don't think that's going to make a difference, though, at this point in the game.
Yeah, it looks like LSUS is going to try to... Well, the Senna is back there, and the Echo is chasing her down. I thought they were going to go back for the Baron there.
But I think at this point, it's just going to be Among Us trying to micromanage their problems while LSUS gains more ground.
Yeah, so LSUS, I feel like they're playing with the food right now, which you got to be careful because sometimes the food can come back.
Well, we've seen it happen before.
I did have a 50-minute game last night where our Nexus got down to 10 HP and we came back and won the game. So you don't want to play with the food.
And the MF ult there just deleted.
The MF ult with
Ash.
the Zyra ult. I mean, look at this bot lane for LSUS. It's 4-0-12 on the MF, 7-5 on the Zyra. It's been an absolutely dominating performance by the LSUS bot lane here.
Fantastic.
Vladimir getting a really good shutdown. See, this is what I'm talking about playing with the food. The shutdowns add up.
LSUS going for the second inhib. Now that means 2 lanes that they're going to have to micromanage.
Yep. So again, it's just you have to take care of both lanes now. So you're having to devote 2 people just to keeping that lane from being pushed in. And LSUS pretty much has free reign of the map right now.
Speaking of inhibs, how long is an inhib down for before it reconstructs itself? Do you happen to know that?
5 minutes.
5 minutes? All right. We'll go with that.
5 minutes? I can look it up. How about that? But really right now, all Among Us can do is just turtle in their base. if you venture outside your base, look with all the vision LSUS has, they can just pick you off one by one. So you really just want to stay in your base. It sucks. It sucks to watch LSUS.
And they're coming in for the snipe on Ward to take him out if they can do it, because the dragon is coming up here in about 3 seconds.
Yeah,
And it's smart to take out the jungler. But Mundo coming in, going to try to make a play, but I don't think he's got enough in his tank to defeat 5 players on the map at one time.
yeah, and he can just get blown up.
Especially with the Vigar ult. And look at that, 1, 2, and will that make a third? I believe it is. That
Yeah.
drops them down.
So really, you just have to get vision right outside your base. If you're the defending team at this point, get vision right outside your base and try to take the good fights inside your base.
Looks like LSUS is going to skip the dragon,
Yeah,
and they're going straight for the win. Can they get the win? I think so. With the super minions in the base, it looks like that is going to be a GG for LSUS. Congratulations for the win.
And the misfortune coming out, just trying to pad the stats a little bit. Zyre with the final kill there. And again, the LSUS bot lane. And I got to give props to the Vigar, the 7-0 and 10.
That was amazing.
That's a good stat line. It really is.
So would you say Vigar was the carry for the team?
No, it was the LSUS bot lane.
Okay.
But the Vigar was able to just delete one person from the enemy team with his ult at the beginning of every fight there. And you know me, numbers advantage fight is everything.
Yeah.
And inhibitor does have respawn timer of 5 minutes. So
all right, so that puts Shreveport Finest and Newmont Esports. Do we have a?
Yeah, so LSUS will be moving up to the round 4 there, and the loser of Newmont Esports versus Shreveport's Finest will be facing them.
Right. And I believe that game was going at the same time.
I believe it was. Are we going to it?
Do we have a live? Is that game still? Okay,
so Shreveport's Finest lost.
Okay. Wow. So we're going to see Newmont versus LSUS.
Yeah, all right.
That should be a good game. That should be a great game.